Hello, my name is Judy. Welcome to the Liberated Multitasker. Today I thought we'd make a homemade pizza. We're going to make a thin crust that requires no rise time. So please come join me. Now before we start on our crust for the pizza, I'm going to preheat our oven to 400 degrees. We're going to bake some bacon, ground some hamburger meat, and some sausage, because what I want to make today is a meat lover's pizza. Now I got this from Sam's Club, and so I'm going to go ahead and cook all 2 pounds of this. So I'm not going to need all the hamburger meat or all the sausage or all the bacon for this meal, but I might as well go ahead and cook it all, and then I can put it in my freezer, have another dish that needs some cooked meat. All I have to do is pull it out. While my oven is running and hot and I got to stand here anyway, I might as well cook it all. Now when I bake bacon, I bake it at 400 degrees for about 20 minutes. Now I have 1 pound of hamburger meat. I'm going to cook this in the smaller skillet. And this is 2 pounds of pork sausage. Now I normally like my meat, pork, and hamburger in 1 pound packages. So I have put off cooking this package. And so today I thought I'm just going to go ahead and cook it all, and I can have some in the freezer. As usual, anytime we're cooking meat, we need to salt and pepper it. And then I'm just going to break it up in chunks and let it brown. Here's our ground hamburger, already good and cooked. I'm just going to set it to the side until we need it. I'm so glad I've now got this pork cooked, and now I'll have extra in my freezer. And here is 2 pounds of ground pork. And we'll put this to the side and let it cool. We'll use what we need and bag up the rest. Now with this bacon, I'm turning it halfway through. So it's baked for about 10 minutes, and I will bake it for another 10. And now it's ready. And here is our baked bacon. I'll put it to the side and let it cool. Okay, before we start making our dough, we're going to preheat our oven to 500 degrees. And I have 2 pans here. One I'm going to roll the dough out on, and one I'm going to preheat my pan. The first thing we're going to do is add 3/4 cup of lukewarm water in our bowl, 1/4 teaspoon of sugar, and 1 teaspoon of active dry yeast. I'll stir this together, and we're going to let it sit and foam together for about 5 to 8 minutes. When this gets nice and bubbly, we will come back and add our flour and salt. I have 1 3/4 cups of all-purpose flour and about 1/2 teaspoon of salt. I'm going to mix this in. Now I'm going to add it to my yeast. It is starting to form a ball. It's coming together really good. My oven just preheated, so I think we're going to time this just about right. I'm going to sprinkle just a little bit of flour here and knead this just for about 2 minutes. Now, if the dough is really sticky, we can add some more flour, but this is feeling just about right. All right, I think that's enough kneading. What I want to do now is roll it out. Now, since I'm using this bar pan, I don't want to roll it in a circle. I want to roll it in a rectangle. I have to say, I really enjoy this process of rolling it out and even kneading it a little bit. Though sometimes when I make breads, I do use my KitchenAid to knead the dough. But this is kind of fun, rolling all this out, trying to make it the right size. Let's see. This is going to fit fairly well. What do you think? I think that's probably a pretty good size. I'm going to get our hot pan out of the oven. Oh, that's hot. I'm going to put a little bit of oil, and now I'm going to put this on this hot pan. Now this is the trick about when you do that, is making sure you get it placed right. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to use a little bit of pizza sauce. We don't need a lot of it. I'm just going to spread it on. You know, I think this would be fun. I think your kids would like making their own pizza. It's really not that hard. Now I'm going to use several different kinds of cheese, but here's some mozzarella cheese slices. And I'm going to put this on the pizza, probably tearing some, just placing them about the edge. I like a lot of cheese, ooey gooey goodness. And then we will start putting our other toppings. I have some pepperonis I had bought. These are in the freezer. I've used these several times, so I think I'm going to try to use up the rest of these. I'll also have a few mushrooms I've drained. So I'm going to pull some of these out and sprinkle them on. This is some hamburger meat I'm going to sprinkle on top. Here's some pork. Now let's crumble up a few pieces of bacon. Obviously I have super crispy bacon here, and I'm just going to crumble them up right on top. I'm going to add a little bit of medium cheddar. And now for a little bit of pepper jack, one of my favorites. Now this is before we cook it. So now we're going to put this in our 500-degree oven and bake it until done. Okay, so our pizza has been cooking for about 11 minutes. I'm going to let it go another minute. I'm just trying to make sure that crust is good and crispy. All right, it's been 12 minutes. The thing we did different this time than the last time I cooked it was that we preheated our pan. That looks absolutely divine. Let me show you this. Let me give you a close-up. Look at that. Oh, that looks good. I really hope you give this a try. This Meat Lovers is so delicious. Here I'm going to use my Pampered Chef pizza cutter and go ahead and cut a slice. And I'm going to give it a taste test for you. Mainly just talking about the crust. That looks absolutely delicious. Now I'm going to give it a taste test. This is not something I normally do, but just to see how the crust did. Here's the bottom. Well, let's give it a taste. I think this is really, really good. If you can see how thin the crust is, see how the bottom looks. It's not as crispy as what I buy from a pizza place, but it is really good and absolutely worth making it at home. I will absolutely make this again. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Please like, share, and subscribe, and I hope to see you soon.